Hey guys, my name's Cole, and today I'm going to be talking to you about who police officers are, what they do, how to become one, and how to respond to them. So, most people think that police officers are just invincible. That's absolutely not true. They are humans just like you and me. They have families that they go home to every night, and they're just out doing a job just like everybody else. I myself am a police officer here in Louisiana, so everything that I'm going to be talking to you about today is pretty much it's mostly just for people who live in Louisiana. I can't really speak for other states because the requirements vary so much. So this is mostly just for Louisiana. So the first thing that you have to be a police officer is you have to be a United States citizen. That's important, and most people aren't going to let you enforce the laws of our land if you are not a citizen of this land. The second thing is you have to have a clean criminal record, which means no drug charges, no DWIs within the past 5 to 10 years, and no felonies, and absolutely no domestic violence charges whatsoever. That's an automatic disqualification. The third thing is you have to have a high school diploma or a GED, depending on the department. You have to be at least 21 years of age, but some smaller departments who are really struggling to get people will sometimes let you be 18 years old. To have good character, they're not going to let you just come off the streets and get a job from them. It's just they have standards that they're going to hold, and if you don't meet them, then you're not getting a job. And if you have prior military experience, you have to be honorably discharged or be retired. So if all of those requirements are met, you would have to take the civil service exam, and that would be for a municipality, which would be a city. And that test is basic math, problem solving, the English language, and some situations memorization. It's really easy if you have any education at all or any common sense. You should not have a problem with it. Once you do that, they will allow you to take their physical fitness test, and that will consist of a mile or a mile and a half run, depending on where you're at, push-ups, however many you can do in a minute, and sit-ups, however many you can do in a minute. Depending on the department, they might make you do a 300-meter dash in a certain amount of time. That is to weed out a bunch of people who have no business being in a physical line of work. With all the, you might have to run after somebody, and if you can't run after them, then, you're out of luck. Once you've gotten those down and they realize that they're not wasting their time on you, they will do a background check on you, and they will come through everything that you've ever done in your life. They're going to call they're going to call the people that taught you in elementary school to ask you what kind of student you were, where you went to high school, your previous employers, to see if you were a good worker, didn't show up late. And a lot of that, is kind of unnecessary, but it also is, because a lot of people may look really good on paper, but they're just not a good worker. They don't, they show up late, they lie, they steal. People are different, and it just depends on if you've been good or been bad. Once they've done the background check, you will probably do a medical evaluation, and they will test your physical health. They'll do blood work, test for tuberculosis, drug test you, and do some chest x-rays. if you pass that, they'll send you to do a psychological evaluation, and the psychological evaluation will be around 1,000 true and false questions, and it's the same 6-7 questions asked however many different ways, to see if you answer them all the same. And then you will have an interview with a psychologist, and depending on how you answer her questions, the interview could be anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours. And a lot of people will go in there and lie to the psychologist, and that is not a good idea, because that's what they do. They know the questions they're asking, and they know how they're supposed to be answered. And if you don't answer them right, then you will not pass and you will not be hired. So if you've passed the medical and the psychological test, you will do an oral board interview, which means you will sit at a table, a long table, across from anywhere between 3 to 7 high-ranking members of the department, and they will grill you for however long they please. They will ask you all sorts of different types of questions, and then ask them to you in a different way, and question your answers, and make you feel like they are wrong, just to see if you will change your answer. And what we don't want in this line of work is someone who second guesses themselves, because once you second guess yourself out in the real world in this line of work, you are either gonna get hurt or you're gonna get somebody else hurt, and that's not something that they want. And they're gonna give you so much, it's gonna be very overwhelming, but you just have to stick by your answers, whether they're right or wrong, and that's what they're looking for. At that point, you're not a law enforcement officer. You don't know the absolute correct answer to every situation that they're going to give you. They just want someone who's going to stick by it and not budge. That's all they're looking for. So keep your head up, look professional, and you should be good. Once you've passed that, you will go to the police academy, and that is anywhere from 4 to 9 months of physical fitness, learning the law, and firearms. So once you've passed that, then you're going to be hired, and you're going to start your career as a law enforcement officer. So what law enforcement officers do is investigate crimes, work traffic, and respond to calls for service. I couldn't sit here and tell you everything that you will have to deal with, but anything you can think of, it probably will happen. And I'm going to give you 2 guidelines to staying clear of law enforcement and not getting into any trouble whenever you deal with them, and that is to always comply with what they say and keep your hands where we can see them. And if they're in the wrong, take it to court and you're going to win. But don't fight it on the side of the road. Just take it to court, and that's the best advice I can give you. So I hope I've been of some help in this speech that I've given you, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.